wait, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Can we have the, yeah, can I approach?
What up, guys? What up? Sorry, I just jumping in here, but we got the YSL update. We got the mistrial going on here. Well, I don't think it's a mistrial. I think it's just going for plea deals. So I figured we tune into it real quick, see what the heck is going on, try to follow this situation as much as possible because it looks like it's over with. Looks like we're done. Yeah. So it looks like some of the lawyers, they're trying to get their clients in here for these plea deals. We don't know how much time they're getting as of right now, but the judge is in here. They're calling up the attorneys. They're trying to get some of their clients in here to
We
hear
are
their
going to
plea deals.
recess for just a minute, and I am sorry about that, but I'm going to have to ask everybody to step out for just a minute, and then we'll let y'all back in, okay?
Yes, ma'am. What up, Torian? Yeah, so right now, this is it. This is over with. Now, I don't know if Young Thug has a plea deal also. We don't know who all has plea deals at this moment, but everyone's coming in here and they're signing it off. You see them over at their tables doing what they need to do. So, well, we didn't have to go through all the tough part. We didn't have to sit through every single day. What is this day? Like 160? So we about to see what everyone's getting out of this. Oh man, let me see what the heck is going on with my computer. I was over here recording. I was recording 2, 3 videos, man. And then this popped up, so I was just waiting on it. But we here now. Hell, I got a video bouncing down right now. Years you think Young Thug is gonna get on a plea deal? I'm thinking he did too. They might say, well, I don't know, because if Young Thug pleads guilty to a body, see, they might just have him pleading guilty to like a RICO charge. But I don't know, man. I don't know how his plea deal will work. Everyone else, they might be all right, but because you know what I mean? If you plead guilty, that means he'd have to plead guilty to a murder, and then they'll probably give him what, like another 2 years, maybe. I don't think the state is going to give like go through all of this to give Young Thug time served and then just probation. It would be nice if they did, but it's crazy to hear like if he does plead guilty, like this whole time he admitted guilt. Like damn, he really did do it. And as I was saying, I mean, I kind of feel that he did it anyway, but none of the evidence showed that like he like without like any doubt. You know what I mean? There's still moments I'm like, I don't know. So I couldn't really say he was guilty. Shit. It ain't on me to decide. Let me see. Let me change this. If it's a little laggy, don't get mad. It's only because I'm working on something behind here. Like I got a video, I got 2 videos. One is dropping at 6:30. So in like 15 minutes, and I'm gonna have one drop probably tonight around 7 or 6 p.m. you guys' time. Content. No. Yeah, everything going slow today. They saying young Jeffrey's about to be free, y'all. Young Thugger, 2 years. So Thug comes out, Lil Durk goes in. Now, I haven't really talked too much about all this rapper stuff. We have been following Young Thug, but I will say this. From these two trials and allegedly Young Thug putting a hit on somebody and yet allegedly Dirk putting a hit on somebody, I'm gonna have to go ahead and say this. Dirk has to be one of the dumbest criminals I've ever heard of in my life. How you got text message? It's a whole bunch of shit. At least I won't say at least because it's still bad that if they did somebody in the crew on the live nut, we don't know who it was. But Young Thug and them were doing this back in 2014, 2015. Yeah, they were still committing crimes. But Lil Durk was doing this in 2022. Dog, it's just ignorant, man. There's really nothing you can even say to justify this. You can't say, oh, Young Thug and them were doing it because of the peer pressure of people online. No, that's not a valid excuse, man. Y'all were adults. But we definitely gonna see what they got. Maybe Young Thug does 3 more years and then they let him out. And then he'll probably have like 10, 15 years of probation, but still might say, let him do another year or like 2.5 years, let him out on probation. What up, DeMarcus? I wanted the trial covered, so here we go, man. The end game. Right now, they got a recess. I think they're trying to bring in some of the clients. They're trying to transfer them over because the lawyers do want their clients to be here so they know that what they negotiated. Of course, you can't give your client a plea deal without talking to them. So that's their constitutional right. You got to be able to talk to your client and let them know. And they also have the right to be here in the courtroom during these proceedings. So it's got to be something good because they wouldn't be bringing their clients, like bringing my client up here so they can get this plea deal if it's something that they're not going to agree with. But you still got to have them there if they want to change their mind. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Subscribers, chat replay, save, go live. Damn. How do y'all think you would fare if you were in jail for 2 years? Say you was a millionaire, not as 9 to 5 folk. I already know. I did basic training was 8 weeks. 8 weeks is pretty much like jail. I mean, we did have some free time, but shit, let me tell you, anything over like 8 weeks, I don't know if I could do that. I didn't even have no cell phone those 8 weeks I was in there. Hell, the 3 nights, I stayed when I got locked up in Amsterdam. Shit, boy, I can't do no jail time. That was like I stayed in the States. I got locked up for a weekend. So that was 2 days. I did 3 days in Amsterdam. I did 1 day here in Germany. Oh yeah, anything over a weekend, your boy Mo can't do it. Amsterdam was the worst because I don't speak Dutch. So I was in there and they spoke very little. You eat. I'm like, man, I don't know what the hell's going on, but Yeah, I couldn't do no jail time. That's why I say don't commit any crimes, people. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. So I guess we're just gonna sit around and wait, man. We don't really have no other option, to be honest. What's up, Belicious? We just sitting around and waiting, you know? I guess this is how you feel if you got kids and you go into the principal office and you gotta wait on your kids to come out, see what they done got in trouble for. You get that phone call. Bring, bring. Hello, who this is? Mo, this is the state of Georgia. Okay, what do you want? Young Thug plea deals are coming down today. We need you to get on live. All right, give me a second. You get up and you're wondering, all right, what did they do? What exactly is Thugger gonna plead to? Now, one thing I will say is if Thug gets a couple of years, when he get out, I don't want to hear none of that tough talk from Thug. That's my whole thing. All these guys are the biggest gangsters. They do all this crazy stuff, but when they get in these courtrooms, they shut the fuck up. They sit down. They don't shoot birds at the judge like they say. They ain't holding their tongue. Well, Young Thug ain't say nothing because, you know, when you're a defendant, you really don't, especially in a criminal trial, you never take the stand unless you didn't do it. But yeah, man, I don't want to hear no tough talk from Thug. I want to hear him just talking about getting money, traveling the world, beautiful women. I'm not trying to hear Thug and them slime and all that. Yeah, I'm thinking everybody at this point, I think everyone's going to get a deal. It's just how much time are they going to give out? And the crazy thing is, the guy is a guy named Munktunk. These names. There's a guy named Munktunk last week or the week before. He actually went to jail. To think he went back to jail to serve a 5-year sentence because he didn't do what his plea agreement said. He was keeping it real because he didn't want to get up there and admit to everything he already put on his plea deal. So he had to go to jail and do 5 years. Now, if they come in here and sign these plea deals and some of them get out like today, or maybe they got to serve like another 6 months or something, and he went back to jail for 5 years, oh, I would be hurt. I would be hurt. What up, Stacy? Right now we have I think we seen 3 defendants in the courtroom. They were signing. I know one of the lawyers said that he wanted to get his client. I didn't see Young Thug in here when they first turned the camera on. So I think what they're trying to do right now is bring in the rest of the clients. Well, the rest of the defendants, bring them in so they can hear what their plea deal is, have it read in front of the judge, because I think some of them might be leaving like today. Because I know last week they told the family members not to show up. So if they're telling family members to show up, they literally might be walking out of court today, but they might have 5 years probation. Now, as far as Young Thug, I think the state really wants him. So they might say he did 2 years. They might say Thug got to do 3 years with time. Well, got to do 5 years with time served. So he got like 3 years, and with good behavior, because this is a state case with like good behavior, he might be able to get out in like a year and a half, do like maybe 6 months, then go to a halfway house for the next 6 months the next year, and then he's basically on probation. But the only thing is, remember, if Young Thug pleads guilty to this, there were guns found in his house. So if he pleads guilty to this, then that means the feds can turn around and pick him right up. So that's the thing that's scary. The feds can pick him up for those machine guns that were found in his house when he was arrested. So if the feds want to play that game, you know they not cutting these type of deals. Young Thug, let's just say Young Thug could get released, or even if he has to stay in and gets a plea, I gotta serve like another year. The feds can say, well, now that that case is over with and they didn't really give you no time, we'll pick you up for those guns. It didn't hit them with like another 15 years. What up, Zay? Don't do crimes, guys. Don't do crimes. Because remember, this is just a state case. The feds, what they can do is pick this up. And if there's any crime that they went across the state border with, then it becomes federal. You're not getting charged with the same thing, but now we can hit you with all federal charges because all the information we have here, you pled guilty, but that shit wasn't picked up, but we know about it now. So it's all kinds of crazy shit that could happen. And you know, the feds, they don't play fair. The feds, they don't play fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. We go see. We go see. What I'm about to go, I'm about to call someone. Hey, someone give me the number to the courthouse. I gotta call them and say, hey, let's get this show on the road, man. We got people over. We got stuff to do. Some people at work. I'm at the house. I got shit to do, man. Where the judge at? No disrespect, Your Honor, but where the judge at? We need to get this show on the road. Let me put up a poll. You guys think it's gonna be over or under 5 years for Thug? And that's with time served. This is a loss for the state of Georgia. Well, I mean, it depends. We don't know. We don't know what these pleas are, but you could say it's a loss. But in the 2 years, they said crime has went down drastically. So we got 2 years of a little bit of off the street. My whole thing is, if they did the crimes, all right, cool, lock them up. You know, I'm not one to want no one to be in jail, but if they committed these crimes, then let's be honest, they deserve to be in jail, man. We can't just have people ordering hits, walking freely around the city. I don't care if it is your favorite rapper or artist. Oh man. Well, let me go see if Thugger Daily has anything up, and we'll move from there. Thugger the baby. Oh, so here we go. Here's one of them that took a plea.
It is my understanding that we have a plea to be tendered for Mr. Nichols. Is that right? All right.
Your Honor, may we approach?
You may. It is my understanding that we have a plea to be tendered for Mr. Nichols. Is that right? All right.
Your Honor, may.
So this is Quay, but then we got attorney Weinstein asked for his client Yak Guy to be present in the courtroom for his plea hearing. The judge agrees and asks for him to be brought in. Brief recess. So that's where we're at right now. This is Nichols, the Quay guy, Quamarvious Quay. He's signing his. I don't know how many hours he's getting. But then again, Young Thug may have declined this plea because remember, they did say last week that there were counter offers put on Fonnie Willis's desk. So she may have still, hey, okay, Young Thug, if you're going to plead guilty, you got to give us 15 years or 20 years. You see what I'm saying? So we still don't know. And we
All right. I apologize for the interruption. Thanks for y'all's patience. Some of the co-defendants in the ongoing trial wanted to be out here, so they are out here now. And
Let's
Mr.
see.
Harvey, are we ready with Mr. Nichols? All right.
Mr. Nichols, there go Thugger right there. Spider.
I think at the podium, please. Thank you.
What's going on there, B? This right here is going to determine it. What's Quay getting?
Now let's have him at the podium because he's going to have to take an active part in
Make sure you hit that like button.
this entry. All right.
Okay, sure.
Sergeant, can you swear him in, please?
Yes. Quamarvious Nichols.
Quamarvious.
Quamarvious. Last name Nichols. Nichols.
All right.
Is that? Okay. Do you want to do it again? All right. Slow down. Your name. Spell it.
Nah, he nervous. I know this Thug ain't nervous.
Quamarvious Nichols. First name Quamarvious. My last name Nichols. Nichols.
What's going on, D-Publicist?
And Mr. Nichols, are you the same person referred to as Quamarvious Nichols?
Mr. Rashonda?
Indictment 22 SC 183572.
Yes.
And are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medicine?
No.
Have you had the opportunity to sign this indictment with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey?
Yes.
How old are you?
29.
And how far did you go in school?
I got my GED.
I did not hear you.
I got my GED.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Do you understand that in this indictment, you were initially charged with count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, which carries a sentence of 5 to 20 years?
Yeah.
You were also charged with count 49 in this indictment, which is murder, which carries a sentence of life.
Damn.
You were charged with 2 counts of participation in criminal street gang activity, which was counts 50 and 51, which each carried a sentence of 5 to 20 years.
Sheesh.
You were initially charged with counts 53 and 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon under Code Section 16-11-133, which each carry a sentence of 15 years consecutive to count 1. And then you were also charged with count 54, which is possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which carried a sentence of 5 years consecutive to count 1. Do you understand that is what you were initially charged with?
Damn.
Yes.
That nigga's going away for
Understand that you have the right to plead either guilty or not guilty to these charges. And if you plead not guilty or remain silent, you may receive a jury trial.
Yes.
Have you had an opportunity to go over and review the waiver of rights form with your attorney?
Yes.
And I'm going to hand this to your attorney.
what he doing? He pleading guilty?
Did you sign this along with your attorney?
Yes.
What y'all think he pled
Have you had
guilty?
enough time to speak with your attorney, Mr. Bruce Harvey, about all the facts and circumstances known to you regarding the charge in this indictment?
Yes.
Do you need any more time to discuss this man with your attorney?
No.
Are you satisfied with his counsel and representation?
Yes.
And I'd include in there the counsel and representation by Ms. Westmoreland and Mr. Garland as well. You had a team of attorneys.
That's correct.
All
yes.
right.
And they are all attorneys of record and have participated in this particular proceeding and negotiation leading up to this proceeding.
Thank you.
Do you waive formal reading of the indictment?
Yes.
Do you waive any and all defects with respect to the indictment?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, have you been arrested on all the charges in this indictment?
Yes.
And Mr. Harvey, the state is unaware of any outstanding warrants related to these charges. Do you know of any outstanding warrants that are related to these charges?
Not related to those charges.
Sheesh. What y'all think?
Have you been
This nigga doing
advised
10.
of the minimum and maximum sentence for each charge that you are pleading to?
Yes.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, a sentence of 20 years to serve 7 years in custody, balance on probation.
Yes.
Do you understand that as a part of the negotiated agreement, the state will null, or dismiss count 49, which is the murder count, count 50, 51, which are the gang activity counts, count 53, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and count 65, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Do you understand that is a negotiated agreement?
Yes.
Do you understand that the court does not have to accept that recommendation?
Yes.
And the court can sentence you to the maximum on each charge and can run those charges consecutively or one after the other?
Yes.
Well, there's only one charge
Yeah,
that
so
a guilty plea is
I
being
wish-
entered into, so
Under my breath to that.
there's no other sentence to run anything consecutively with
Right.
regard to this.
So
plea.
it's
You
just a 20 with the
understand
7?
Yes.
that? Okay.
Do you understand this plea may be used to enhance sentencing on other convictions in this jurisdiction as well as in other jurisdictions, including the federal courts?
Yes.
See, the
Do you understand
feds.
You are currently on probation or parole. Your probation or parole may be revoked based on your entering a guilty plea today.
Yes.
Damn.
Do you understand if you're placed on probation of any kind, you cannot violate any criminal laws of any governmental unit or any special conditions of probation without being subject to revocation for the balance of your sentence?
Yes.
Do you understand you are not allowed to possess or use a firearm while on probation?
Yes.
Do you understand if you are not a United States citizen, a guilty plea conviction will affect your immigration status and will result in deportation, just like a conviction at a trial would? And that is true regardless of any advice by your attorney or anyone else.
Yes.
Do you understand that neither the court, your attorney, nor the district attorney's office has anything to do with parole, the Department of Corrections, or Board of Pardons and Paroles, and no one can guarantee parole?
Yeah, it said it was
or will
20
not guarantee.
years, and I think they said they're gonna
Yes.
have to do
Do
7
you
on
understand that there may be
probation.
other adverse or unfavorable consequences as a result of this guilty plea conviction, just as there would be from a conviction following a trial. For example, your guilty plea may affect your right to vote, your right to hold public office, your right
You know
to
the
serve on a
crazy thing
jury,
is, this
your right
nigga
to
pleads
obtain a
guilty and they
passport,
don't give a
your
fuck
right to
about the
receive,
murder.
possess, or transport a firearm, or the ability to obtain employment.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty to a felony, if you use, receive, possess, or transport a firearm, or use a firearm in a crime, you will be guilty of a felony, which may carry a sentence of 1 to 15 years in prison.
Yes.
Do you understand that you waive any and all defenses, including any mental health defenses, by entering a plea of guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand if you went to trial, you have the right to a trial by jury?
Remember, she said the court doesn't have to accept that. So that's what they're presenting, 20 and
The
7.
right to testify to remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are giving up the following rights? After each right, I'll ask you to say yes or no if you understand. The right to a trial by jury.
Yes.
The right to remain silent and not incriminate yourself.
Yes.
The right to confront witnesses against you.
Yes.
The right to assist with counsel hired by you or to court-appointed counsel if you cannot afford an attorney at the trial of your case.
Yes.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
Yes.
The right to testify on your own behalf and to present other evidence.
Yes.
The right to subpoena witnesses and compel the production of evidence.
Yes.
The right to have the charges against
Nah,
you
he
proven
was
beyond a reasonable doubt.
in this RICO. He had a murder charge, but they dropped the murder
Yes.
charge.
Has anyone
Unless the
forced
feds are going to pick it up. Because remember, she said the feds could still come and get your ass.
No.
Is it your decision to waive these rights and enter a guilty plea because you're in fact guilty?
Yes.
With respect to indictment 22 SC 183572, how do you plead to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act?
Guilty.
Is this guilty plea freely and voluntarily given with a full knowledge of the charges against you?
Yes.
Do you understand that you have only a limited right to
But for
appeal
him,
this guilty plea conviction?
120 years, you get 20 and 7 on probation.
To file
Fuck
a
that.
habeas
Give me that.
corpus petition challenging the voluntariness of this plea.
Yes.
That can challenge anything about the constitutionality of the plea. It's not limited to voluntariness, understand?
Yes.
And Your Honor, if this case were to.
Hang on just a second. You also have, so 4 years for that, to file a direct appeal. You have 30 days from the date of sentencing, which is going to be today. And you have until the end of this term of court to file a motion seeking to withdraw your guilty plea. That doesn't mean anything like that would be granted. You would have to establish facts that would warrant that. That's just the time period is until the end of this term of court. Do you understand those as well?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, if this case were to continue with trial, Your Honor, the state would expect, as to this defendant, the state would expect to show that what has already come into evidence that on July 3rd, 2017, as well as October 23rd, 2018, that this defendant is an associate of the enterprise of YSL, also known as Young Slime Life.
If anyone goes to trial, everyone taking these plea deals, they have to come in here and tell, and all of the evidence that they pled guilty to will be used in the court against the other niggas.
And participating in the enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity and furtherance of the
Damn.
This defendant engaged in the activities below. He engaged in activities that assisted with preserving, protecting, and enhancing the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise through acts of racketeering activity to include murder, assault, and threats of violence. That this defendant preserved, protect, and enhance the reputation, power, and territory of the enterprise by the posting of messages, images, appearance in videos, and songs demonstrating allegiance to the enterprise and a willingness to engage in violence on its behalf, and to obtain money, weapons, and other property through acts of racketeering activity, including the unlawful sale and distribution of drugs. Your Honor, evidence has come in during this trial that on July 3rd, 2017, Mr. Nichols was located at 2612 Steele Avenue, which is in the Cleveland Avenue sector of the city. Your Honor, he was found inside of a vehicle when that vehicle was searched, Your Honor. This was in October 2018. They found marijuana as well as sandwich baggies that would be used to package drugs. And there are also guns found inside of that vehicle. Also in July of 2017, this defendant was stopped during a traffic stop in the Cascade area, Your Honor. After being stopped, Your Honor, there was a consensual search of the vehicle that yielded powder MDMA, Xanax, as well as a loaded gun inside of that vehicle. Additionally, Your Honor, in July of 2019, Mr. Nichols was featured in a video with another YSL member, Shannon Stillwell, and Woody Lee. In that video, it was entitled Slap Talk. And in that video, co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell, while performing, makes such quotes as, "Me and my slimes are above the law." We know from the evidence that slimes is one of the terminology used by members of YSL to refer to themselves or other members.
Now, this whole time,
this enterprise.
they've been saying the state was slacking, but they still getting all these niggas locked up though.
2022, Mr. Nichols was found in surveillance video at a gas station at Windsor Street and Fulton Street here in Atlanta, Georgia. This is on March 14, 2022, during what the state would believe to show an onset of a gang war that really started in 2015 with the death of Donovan Thomas that carried on into 2022. In February of 2022, a rival gang member by the name of Rayshawn Bennett, also known as YFN Lucci, was stabbed at the Fulton County Jail in February of 2022. Information about that stabbing was made public at the early part of March 2022, around March 3rd of 2022. Once that information was released to the public, there was an onset of retaliatory activity that occurred between March 3rd, 2022 and March 16th of 2022. That includes a March 11th homicide of YSL associates Christian McMiller and Darius Ford. It also did.
Then they laying out all the facts.
A shooting of a YFN associate, and then ultimately it led to a murder of Shamel Drinks, who we believe is a YFN associate. This murder occurred again on March 14, 2022. Mr. Nichols is seen on surveillance video at that BP gas station, as I just referenced earlier. He was at the gas station with YSL co-conspirator Shannon Stillwell. Mr. Stillwell was driving an Audi vehicle. Mr. Nichols came to that gas station in a Ford Fusion vehicle. You see both of them on camera together. While they are at that gas station, Shamel Drinks approaches that gas station as well. I think unbeknownst to Mr. Drinks, Mr. Stillwell was still in his vehicle, which is the Audi. At some point in time, Mr. Nichols got to his vehicle, the Ford Fusion. Once Mr. Drinks finished his business, or finished handling business at that gas station, we know that there's a phone.
So just real quick, for everyone that's saying the state was fucking up, all the evidence the state had right here, the state wasn't fucking up. They had it all. So yeah, this trial was going on forever, but look at it like this. If Young Thug doesn't take a plea deal, all these dudes taking pleas, all of this evidence will be used against Young Thug. So the state is actually winning because they said 20-7, but remember, the court has to accept this plea deal. She said, this is what we're offering, 20-7. But the state could be like, nah, there's a murder charge on there. We're not going to accept that. It's going to be this and this. But all of this that he pled guilty to, anyone else that goes to trial, they can use all this evidence against them. So in the end, the law is still winning. As far as this first gentleman is going, the law is still winning. He might not get the 120, 140 years that he was facing, but he's still about to get a significant amount of time. What up, Kendall?
About 30 minutes later, the Samaritan sees that car still sitting there, approaches the vehicle, and Mr. Drinks is now deceased inside of that vehicle. We had known through LPR readers that both Mr. Stillwell's vehicle and the car involving Mr. Nichols drive in the direction of 20 westbound and follow in tandem. 2 days
If
later.
Thug continues on with the RICO, then it's
after
over
the
with for
case
Thug.
is investigated and arrest warrants are taken out. On March 17th, 3 days later, Mr. Nichols is found with Mr. Stillwell at a Chick-fil-A gas station, Chick-fil-A restaurant. There is a chase, I won't call it a high-speed chase, but there is a chase through the city of East Point, and eventually Mr. Nichols as well as Mr. Stillwell are both apprehended after arrest warrants were ultimately taken out for the murder of Mr. Drink, Your Honor. Given where we are in the case, Your Honor, we know that Mr. Nichols, we do not believe Mr. Nichols was in the vehicle in which the shooting occurred, but he was in this other vehicle. The state has made a decision to move forward with this recognition for the RICO count, Your Honor, for count 1.
Mr. Harvey, are y'all acknowledging a factual basis to the count 1, the RICO count?
Okay, we are acknowledging a factual basis. There has already been evidence with regard to the July 3rd, 2017 drug event, the October 23rd, 2018 drug event. We categorically deny and contest any use of violence by Mr. Nichols. We don't agree to that underlying factual basis. We believe those two predicate acts that were committed by Mr. Nichols without any question are sufficient to meet the elements of the offense. The offense to which he's pleaded to, which is a RICO conspiracy. A RICO conspiracy requires proof that the defendant either conspire with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that would be drug offenses, or personally endeavor, I believe that's what the language of the statute says, to violate one of the substantive provisions.
Well, that's what the language of the statute says.
Hey, like Eric said, it seemed like Fonnie gave these pleas so the mistrial wouldn't go on. You can't outsmart the law. It's 20-7 for him. It's 20-7 for him. But remember, if anyone takes this to trial, all this evidence that they got, that the state was right about the whole time, he's got to get on the stand and he's got to admit to it. They're not going to let him do like Woody. He's going to have to do all of this or he violates his probation and it's over with. He got to go. All that time he's going to be getting. Damn, boy, the state, they may have been fucking up on the inside, but guess what? Fonnie Willis, the top dog, the big DA, she was in the office like, let them fuck up. I'll handle it. Bring that shit to my desk.
We are not entering a plea, and that includes gang charges. This is a plea solely to a conspiracy to violate the RICO Act.
They trying to cover up Thug with the gang charges. That's
So
good on the lawyer.
But yes, we acknowledge a factual basis to that extent, Your Honor.
Understood. All right, thank you.
Your Honor, we just have one additional thing to say.
Go ahead.
The factual basis regarding the nature of YSL is that the evidence has shown and will continue to show that Mr. Nichols conspired with others to participate in Young Slime Life through a pattern of racketeering activity, and multiple defendants and unindicted co-conspirators have committed overt acts to further this conspiracy, including drug sales, aggravated assault, and murder, also including social media posts asserting the violent nature of and asserted dominance of Young Slime Life, also known as YSL. And that concludes our factual basis.
And again, once again, we categorically deny those representations. And again, the only thing that is necessary to meet the factual evidence of a 1614-4C is proof that the defendant conspire with another person to violate one of the substantive provisions of RICO, and that is subsumed by the drug offenses that have already been proven in this case, and to which Mr. Nichols has previously pled.
All right, thank you. Understood.
And Your Honor, may I approach with the waiver of rights form again?
Yes.
Now, what the state could do, they could play some games. They could offer all these other niggas plea deals and not offer Thug nothing. So even if the mistrial happens, they'll redo the mistrial with just young Thug on there, and they'll be able to use all of this against Thug. So we're gonna have to see how this plays out with the state, because they could easily, all right, well, we'll give them plea deals. The rest of you, fuck it, we'll do a mistrial, and we'll just trial 3 of you guys over with. But now we got all the evidence and people that actually were in the RICO pleading guilty to it. The state is a dangerous game out there. I know people say they playing dirty, but no, you're a criminal. This is how it is.
Guilty plea that has been negotiated between the state and your attorneys, and to discuss anything you wanted to about that with your attorneys.
Yes.
All right. And you understand, I hope, I'm going to ask you, that it is your decision ultimately, obviously with the advice of your attorneys, but it's ultimately up to you individually to decide whether you want to enter this guilty plea or not. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And you do want to enter this guilty plea?
Yes.
All right. And Mr. Harvey, have you advised Mr. Nichols of the alternatives if he does not ultimately go through with this guilty plea, and the potential benefits and drawbacks of all of the other options?
Yes,
All right.
very thoroughly, Judge.
All right.
Fuck that. Stay away from crime.
All right, Mr. Harvey, is there anything that the defense wants to add to the record?
Judge, other than the statement with regard to the underlying factual basis, I would point out for the court that when Mr. Nichols filled out his form, it says 29 plus. He is a birthday boy in a couple of days, and he will be 30. And at 30 years of age, he has a wife. He has got a 13-year-old daughter. He's got a 10-year-old daughter and an 8-year-old son.
God
His
damn,
wife and
nigga.
sister, I believe, are here in the courtroom to support him.
Can he do his
He,
birthday?
Mr. Nichols, was born and raised in Atlanta. And, you know, we're at this point before I have even given my opening statement in this case.
Yes, sir.
I do want the court to know that Mr. Nichols' mother died in prison.
Oh man, we ain't trying to hear
His
that.
father was shot by the Atlanta police when he was 4 years old. And he was raised by friends and
Unbelievably.
family in the Atlanta area. So he has come to this point in his life
He's
from a
29.
very humble
His
beginning.
birthday's next week.
And he has sought the support of friends in this courtroom and others in this courtroom.
Nigga, he got a murder charge, nigga. Yeah, you done fell asleep on your client?
He is an intelligent young man who I believe has a future.
Shit, in
Every
prison.
day we do a word of the day. We put a new word into a sentence.
He trying to get that damn
And I
27
think
accepted.
this is in his best interest. I know that there is, and I know this plea is negotiated, but it's a long downside from 7 to 20. So the courts will have jurisdiction over him for a period of time. So I asked the court, given who this young man is,
This nigga's a
given
murderer.
my categorical denial of some of the factual basis, to accept the plea and sentence Mr. Nichols accordingly.
Mr. Nichols, is there anything that you want to say?
Let's go, Mr. Nichols. Man, you better speak up for yourself.
All right, I find there to be a factual basis for the guilty plea to the RICO count 1 of the indictment, that being a conspiracy to acquire control or interest in money and personal property
I'll
through
go
a
back
pattern
and
of
look at it.
racketeering activity. And that is the only count that guilty plea is being entered for. The remaining counts of this indictment as against Mr. Nichols are being null pros by the state as a part of this indictment. I find, having heard the evidence up to the point of trial right now, that there is evidence of at least one overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. And that there is evidence that would fall within the required statute of limitations to establish this RICO conspiracy count.
What we doing, ma'am? What we doing, Judge?
One of the things that
Oh, she ain't
we
playing.
as judges
About to give him
are
25.
instructed by our Uniform Superior Court rules to do when we are considering whether to accept a guilty plea and whether to accept
Oh,
a
shit.
negotiated sentence, and this is a negotiated sentence in this case, is to take into account whether giving leniency in sentencing is going to aid in ensuring promptness and certainty, or at least more promptness and more certainty with regard to
On the book
corrective
out.
measures, whether the defendant, and in this case, the defendant has acknowledged guilt and is accepting responsibility for his guilt of the RICO count, and whether accepting the plea will aid in avoiding further delays, not just with regard to this case, but with regard to the entirety of our system here in Fulton County. And this plea does go towards doing all of those things. I am going to accept the plea as negotiated and sentence in accord with the negotiated recommendation. As I said before, find there to be a factual basis for count one of the plea. I find the plea to have been freely, knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily entered into by Mr. Nichols with an understanding of the consequences of doing that. And the sentence on count one is the sentence that has been negotiated of 20 years to serve 7, with the balance of
7. All right.
those years to be served on probation. And that, I don't know if there are any special conditions attached to this that y'all have talked about at all.
There are no negotiated special
Okay.
conditions in those, but there.
7 years.
There are none as far as I'm
probation.
concerned.
All right. Okay. So with regard to the time that you are on probation, you need to stay out of all kinds of criminal trouble. Make this a birthday present to yourself and to your children and to your wife and family, that you will leave from here today and leave whatever you used to do behind you, and take the next few years. You know, you're going to have some years that are still to be served on this. You'll have credit for the time you've already served, but you're still going to be facing some incarceration time. But after that, you are going to be out, and you, I believe Mr. Harvey is correct, can be a productive member of society. And this is an opportunity for you to do that, and for you to put your past behind you, the bad parts of it, and continue and make your children proud of you, and set a good example for them, an example that I guess unfortunately you were not lucky enough to have throughout the entirety of your childhood with your parents. I'm sorry about that, but you can be the kind of parent that you ought to be to your children. So I am going to impose that sentence, and I am going to wish you luck and good fortune as you go forth from here. So I think that unless there's anything else from either party, that will conclude these proceedings, and y'all can go ahead and take him into custody. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And Ms. Taylor will make this an exhibit to the. Thank you.
Well,
All right, we are adjourned for the day.
that's it. We just got one plea deal.
Oh,
We only got one plea deal. Now, maybe the other ones are still getting negotiated, but right now, the state of Georgia is 1-0. The state of Georgia is 1-0. So for everyone saying, oh, they're outsmarting the state, negative. He's about to do 9 years with 13 years on probation. The state with these plea deals are 1-0. 1-0. You know how hard it is to go 13 years on probation? That's no speeding tickets. That's no running stoplights. That's no nothing. That's no guns, no nothing. There's no missing child support. There's no nothing. Well, that's what so yeah, so he has to do 7 years inside plus the 2 years he already did. So it'd be 9 years total that he's going to serve in jail. 13 years on probation. Which is good for him because he had the murder charge on there. He had possession of a weapon, possession of using a weapon during a crime. He had a lot of shit. He had a lot of shit for his. Let me see real quick. So that's Cordaeus. Let me see. See, Funk is the other. Funk went to jail and took his 5, so he's good because these plea deals don't sound favorable. All right, here we go. Quay. So we got count 1 is what he pled guilty to. The conspiracy to violate the RICO Act. 49 is murder. Count 49 is murder. 50 participation in criminal street gang. Now, that's what the one that the lawyer said we weren't in because they're still trying to protect Thug. Because if Thug takes this to court, everything that he just pled to, that's going to be official evidence now. Okay, we know for sure that this crime happened because he's going to have to say it. You just seen him and his lawyer up there crying. This nigga ain't about to get up there and bullshit. He gonna be like, yeah, I did all those crimes. Such and such told me to do them. He has to, or he's gonna have to do that whole 20 years. And it sounds like his birthday coming up. He ain't trying to do a whole 20. So that was 50. 51 is possession of a firearm by convicted felon, which is easily 5 years. Then he had 53, possession of a firearm by convicted felon. So he was looking at like 100-something years when they were doing the rundown. No, so he's not in the murder of Nut. He's in the attempted murder of. So I'm thinking this Quay is the Quay that was in the jail that tried to do the attempted murder on YFN Lucci. But there's also another murder. We'll try to find it. Let me see. Nichols. Quay, an associate as YSL, committed a felony offense, possession of MDMA. So he had X pills on him, possession of a firearm, convicted felon, criminal damage to property, participation in street gang. We already went over that. Let me see what else he got. Possession of a firearm, convicted felon, 2018, 2019. All right, here we go. Quay, Shannon Stillwell, associates of YSL, did appear in a video released on social media with Stillwell wearing a red and YSL necklace stating, I just beat a murder rap, pay my lawyer 30 for that, and my slime's above the law, an overt act in furtherance of the conspiracy. Basically all these dudes, every single one of these rappers are the same stupid nigga. Get on here, we beat a body. My homeboy catches a body, and it turns out they really did catch these bodies. So everybody, oh man, they outsmarting the state. Yeah. If these guys are outsmarting the state, a grown nigga up there crying because he got to do 7 years, tearing up. No, nigga, don't cry now, nigga. You YSL, you slap, remember? Let's continue on. That's the only thing I don't be getting. I don't have any sympathy for any of these fools. Okay, here we go. Defendants Miles Farley, Demekion Garlington, Quamarvious Nichols, and Shannon Stillwell, associates of YSL, in 2022, this is when they first got locked up, March 14, 2022, did unlawfully, with malice, commit a felony offense of murder, causing death to Shamel Drinks, a human being, by shooting Shamel Drinks, a rival gang member, with a firearm. So, I mean, 7 years for a murder? I mean, 7 years for a murder. That's a win for Nichols. But that 13 years is what's gonna get him. So in March 2022, let me see who this person is. Shamel Drinks. See if we can find this case. Oh yeah, I'm shit. If I caught a body, I'm taking 7 years. So here we go. Two suspects arrested in fatal Mechanicsville drive-by. Let's see if they got any. So here's the smart guy that the lawyer was trying to tell the judge. This guy right here, Mr. Nichols, aka Quay. This is the guy that has a promising future. He had like 4 kids. His birthday's coming up. He got his GED. He needs a second chance at life. This is the nigga that got released. Well, he ain't released yet, but let's see. Come on, the Atlanta Journal. We're not paying for this shit. Here we go. Atlanta PD, man found shot, killed near I-20. Body was found near I-20 in Windsor Street.
A 16-year-old shot and killed near the Atlanta Fair, and a young man found shot to death in his car under I-20 on Windsor Street.
Both homicides happened earlier this month, and today Atlanta police offered updates on both cases. Our Joe Hankey talked with police today about them and the help that is still needed, Joe.
That's right, Sheba. We're told both cases involve multiple suspects. Some arrests have been made, but some suspects are still on the run. And tonight, Atlanta police is asking for witnesses in either case to come forward.
We're looking at the majority of the persons involved in this incident were juveniles.
The first case Atlanta Police Homicide Commander Ralph Woolfolk gave an update on was the March 5th shooting near the Atlanta Fair that claimed the life of 16-year-old Joshua
Not this murder.
Adetunji,
It's the next
a 9th grader from Creekside High in Fairburn. It happened near the intersection of Atlanta police described a dispute of some kind escalating, leading to the shooting. Woolfolk says his investigators have now identified several suspects, but
the gunshots and barrage gun complex investigation.
Our Monday night after a
Shimel
drank. And earlier this week, a 23-year-old identified by the Fulton County Medical Examiner as Shimel Drinks was found shot to death. Police found his body inside a car Monday night after a witness reported the car because it was parked on Windsor Street underneath the I-20 overpass.
And all of the parties haven't been involved in this incident did belong to a criminal street gang.
Woolfolk says a car with 3 known gang members in it pulled up alongside the victim's car, shot him multiple times, and sped off. One suspect remains on the run. The 2 others were tracked down and arrested in East Point Thursday following a chase.
They tried to throw weapons out of the window, as well as narcotics were recovered inside of the vehicle. So this obviously did not work out for them in the fact that they were both brought into custody.
Lieutenant Woolfolk there telling the public during a press conference this afternoon, even though progress is being made on these cases, they still have a lot of outstanding questions. That's why they continue to need help. So even though there is progress being made, they don't want people to stop contacting them if they have information on either one of these shootings.
So that was March 18th, well, March 14, 2022. Let me see. So that was March. That was literally what, 2 months? So 2 months before Young Thug got picked up. These niggas is out here still committing crimes. Eric said Thug not pleading. I mean, I don't think they're gonna present Thug with a plea. if they do, it's going to be something ridiculous, like 20 years. And he might have to, I could see him doing something because he only got the 2 counts, but I think they may have dropped the second one. So if it's just a conspiracy, this guy got 7, well, had to do 7. So, I mean, if Thug doesn't plead out, then all the evidence we just heard, these bodies and stuff. Now, his lawyer did say he wasn't like doing gang activity. It was just like all on his own. But everything that he's going through right now, they can bring him on stand and he has to tell everything. Now, he doesn't have to incriminate himself. He's already in jail. He already pleaded guilty to it. But he's going to have to tell on Young Thug. And this time, they're not going to play around with him. They're not going to let him do a Woody. They're not going to let you get on the stand and be like, I don't recall. Nigga, you going to recall or you going to recall that whole 20? Yeah, we got a recall on this nigga's plea agreement. Yeah, he's going to do the whole 20. And you know he going to tell this time because he was just up there. Tell him I got a family. The lawyer did all he could. 7 years for a murder. You can't beat that, to be honest with you, unless you beat the case. What do you mean that wasn't part of the deal? We just sat here and listened to him say that's why they were saying everything he pled guilty to. Now, all of this, they said if anyone goes to trial, this can be used against them also in federal cases. What do you mean that wasn't part of the deal? We just sat here and listened to the whole thing. They said this shit can be used in the cases if anyone decides to continue the trial or if it gets picked up by feds. He just doesn't have to incriminate himself. Shit, we're going to see, though. I don't know. He probably could get home at like 3. But shit, when you in there, man, you got to be on your best behavior. You know, you can't do no scrapping. You can't do no nothing in there. But then that's let me see what else they got on Mr. Nichols here. Firearm. Oh, this is just possession of a firearm, convicted felon, previously convicted, the MDMA. So that was so that was all the day. The day that they were on the run from the police is the day that they had the drugs. So he was one of the first ones to get caught. Remember they said someone else got caught later on. 2 people got caught. So he was one of it was these 2. Let me see. Oh, we ain't got the photo of him. Him and Shannon Stillwell got picked up first. We don't even know what Shamir Drinks was doing. I wonder what gang he was in. Let me see. Nichols. Was he in here with them? No, that's Yak Gotti. Well, they said that they wanted Yak Gotti. He'll probably do his tomorrow. I know they said at first, initially, they said that DeMonte Kendrick wanted to be there to hear it heard. But I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if they gave him time served. They just said the 7 years. They didn't say anything. I didn't hear him say nothing about time served. Let me see something. So I think he's gonna have to do 7 on top.
Third, 2018.
Facts that would warrant that, but that's just the time period.
Do you understand this is a negotiated plea of guilty, which means that the state will recommend to the court as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, a sentence of 20 years to serve 7 years in custody, balance on probation.
Yes.
See, it says serves. They didn't say anything about like time served. Even the judge didn't say like no time served. So I think he got to do 7 on top of the 2 that he did.
Do you understand as a part of the negotiated agreement, the state will
Let me see
null
what the other
pros
day
or
just say.
dismiss count 49, which is the murder counts, count 50, 51, which are the gang activity counts, count 53, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, count 54, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and count 65, possession of a firearm.
All right, so Thugadela got it. Okay, here we go. Done for the day. Nichols is sentenced to 20 years, 7 to serve, negotiated with the state. Hugs his attorneys, big smile. He's about to be taken into custody. Nichols is receiving time credit, so he do get 31 months. He becomes parole eligible after 40. Golly. It's at 24, 36, another 40 months. Was that 3.5, a little under 3.5 years? That's still a long ass fucking time. No negotiated special conditions, which means he did not have to agree to testify in any factual acknowledgments. Let me see if he's got anything. Oh, well, he already clicked on there. Yeah, there you go. I will post a plea paperwork as soon as it's filed. All right, cool. Incredible deal. That's a good deal for a murder. To get your murders dropped, shit, I'll take that any day of the week. The state agreed to dismiss all charges except for one, including his murder charge. He's only pleading guilty to one charge, the RICO. All right. That boy was over there signing that shit quick. Look, he's like, sign here, sign here. Well, it is what it is, man. Don't do crimes, guys. You won't be standing up here looking like a fool. Let me see.
With 2 counts of participation in criminal street gang.
He's thinking, goddamn, man. Shit, that's what's up, though, man. If you can get a murder charge out of there, do what? You said it'd be home in like 3.5. So what? 5 years, 5.5 years. But then that'd be what? 15 years on probation? Yeah, you gotta add. Well, no, if it's 3, then that'd be 4. So it'd be 17. Golly. 17. Read the special conditions tweet. Well, he doesn't have to testify or anything. From what Thugadela is saying, he doesn't have to testify. But with him pleading guilty to this, that means all those crimes that are on there, that'll be in furtherance of, well, his lawyer said it wasn't a gang, so they're going to appeal that part. But all these other crimes that he pled guilty to, all that will fall up under Young Thug. We don't even know if Thug's going to get a plea deal at this point. The special condition, what they posted.
We have a plea to be
Yeah, he got no negotiated special conditions, which means he does not have to agree to testify to any factual acknowledgments. But they got the proof. Yeah, they got, hey, man, shit, he pled guilty to it. He may not be up here on the stand, but we seen him, and they'll just play that in court. Oh, yes, I plead guilty. Yeah, I still can't get over. He beat the murder. Well, I won't say he beat the murder charge, because that probation is going to be the toughest part. But shit, gonna have to get right. I wonder how many more people are in there. I think it's probably like five people left. Do you guys think they're gonna give Thug a deal? And if he got this, let's say if they give Thug the same thing, just that one charge, 7 years, the rest on probation, home in 3, that'll be what, 26, 20 going into 27? I mean, if I'm Thug, I'm definitely taking that if they allow me to get that. But I don't think that they're going to offer Thug a deal like this, because that's who they wanted. Mm. We shall see, man. It's interesting, but this is when I watch court cases, I'd rather just see this part. All that other stuff they did for 150 days, I couldn't sit through here and watch all of that. I could just watch like little clips of it. Because at the end of the day, all of these dudes is dummies. Like, if we're just gonna be honest. We're talking about, man, that ain't bad for a body. Like, they still got to go to prison. Like, regardless if it's a year or 2 years, it's still prison time. Yeah, I'd rather do a year or like 3 years, but it's still prison time, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't travel. You can't do nothing. You got 13 years probation. Do you think I'm trying to hang around Atlanta for 13 years? Hey, is it cool if I leave the state for a wedding? Let me see. Nope. Is it cool if I leave the state? My grandma's passing. Nah, man, you ain't been doing that good. Man, your probation officer could be a dick. Man, you don't like fuck that. You just can't do any crimes, man, because it's a lose-lose for you. Like, think about it. What did you do in your what I want everyone to do right now? In the last, let's just say to 2014, what is the most exciting thing you've done from 2014 to now? That's what I want to see. What was the most exciting thing you've done from 2014 to now? That'd be what? That's 10 years? Yeah. What was the most exciting thing you've done from 2014 to 2024? Let's see if you can. Once you put that down, then ask yourself, if you was on probation, could you have done that? Anything, whatever's the most exciting thing you've done in the last 10 years, and then ask yourself, if you were on probation, could you have done that? Like, my biggest accomplishment, or the biggest thing for me, was I relocated to Germany. Would I have been able to move overseas on probation? Hell no. I'd have to wait another, what, 3 years before I could even think about that? Fuck that. Let me see what else they got. Or was that it? Day 152. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it's a good deal, but that's if you committing crimes, yeah, it's a good deal. Man, I ain't fucking with it. And you remember when Young Thug got arrested. So if Young Thug takes a plea, that means he pleads guilty to all of this. One thing we do know as a fact is that machine guns were found in Young Thug's house. Now, a lot of people were saying, oh, that's not going to mean anything. If he pleads guilty to this, you know, the feds could be sitting right outside the door just waiting. Like, okay, once he goes up there and they give him his sentence, the feds could pick up those machine guns. So it still ain't over with. Now, as far as beating the state case, cool. But he's not, if he takes a plea deal, he automatically loses. There's when you take a plea deal, you lost. You're admitting guilt. So there's no, oh, he didn't beat shit. He pled guilty. So He's been incarcerated for 4 months. Damn, this shit during the pandemic, they got his ass. On Tuesday, August 9th, 2022, reported that new charges have been added to Thuggers, other defendants in the RICO sweep, Thug, Pages, gun change. Well, that's the same thing we already had. Now faces gang. Well, I think they removed that off of there. I think they did remove the guns off. Where is it at? Jeffrey Slime 56 is participant. Yeah, he ain't have it on there. It's from Vibe. So initially Williams was charged with possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute possession of a Schedule 3, 4, and 5 controlled substance with intent to distribute, possession of a sawed-off shotgun. Come on, Thug, what you had that sawed off for? Possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and other charges related to criminal street activity. 20 bottles of YSL slime drink containing THC, promethazine. According to documents obtained by Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Wynn, at the time of the arrest, Williams was in possession of 20 bottles. Oh, well, see, he doesn't have to be a felon to have those. But if you have these controlled substances and he pleads guilty, then that's going to make, of course, that's not going to be a felon to have them. But you can't have these controlled substances, and then you got guns around them. And let's go ahead and break this down real quick, Eric. Let's go ahead and break this down because he may have not been a felon, so it's not illegal to have the machine guns. The only problem is that machine gun that he had a Glock 30, he had a Glock 357 firearm, a FN 57 firearm, a Glock 19, a Smith & Wesson M&P, a fully automatic Glock 45 9mm handgun with an extended magazine and a converter switch. Fed time. He had a switch in his house. Regardless, that's a 5 years right there, or is a switch 10 years. Now, all of this just seamlessly just magically got dropped off the state case. The feds, if they want to, they can come and pick this switch up. A switch turns the gun into an assault rifle. That's automatic jail time. So, not being a felon, it doesn't matter. You're going to jail. Now, we're going to see if the feds pick it up. I mean, I know people like, man, Mo, you wish it. I'm not wishing nothing. I'm not the dumb nigga that had a switch in my house. So whatever they do to him, if they lock Thug up on federal charges, guess what? I pay federal taxes. And hey, man, shit's illegal, man. You did that. But the controlled substances he had was the promethazine, codeine syrup. They got the YSL slime drink. Is weed legal in Georgia? Well, here we go. In the state of Georgia, it is a crime in Georgia to possess marijuana for personal use, to buy, manufacture, or sell marijuana, which goes into The 1,299 grams of marijuana. So young thugger outside of the state RICO had the permethazine. You know, you got to have that lean. You ain't a real rapper if you ain't got the lean. That YSL slime drink. 1,299 grams of marijuana. 31 bottles of promethazine, codeine syrup. Let me look at what this damn YSL slime drink is. 20 bottles of that and a Schedule V controlled substance. I mean, Schedule V, Schedule 5. Let me see what this YSL drink is. So marijuana is a controlled substance in Georgia. Drug-free zones, trafficking. But they ain't had no 2,000 pounds now. We not gonna put that on Thugger. And what is this? Burke County? We ain't no Burke County. Oh, we talking feds anyway. Man, I tell you one thing, man. To be a millionaire, these dudes do some of the dumbest shit ever. Let me see if there's an actual video of this.
These mushrooms make you feel better. They increase focus and energy while keeping you calm and stressed.
We learned that rapper Young Thug is facing more trouble tonight. In the last 90 minutes, we got our hands on a new indictment against the artist who's already facing a number of charges along with 27 other defendants. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie with us live tonight on this. So Mark, you've been looking into these new allegations.
Yeah, we got the indictment late this afternoon. Frankly, it's so long we haven't been able to read all of it, but have been talking to attorneys from both sides. Got off the phone with one of them seconds ago. So we've learned a good bit about what's new, including allegations about a machine gun. The Fulton County District Attorney's Office says a new indictment brings new charges against famous hip-hop artist Jeffrey Williams, who performs as Young Thug, and that they add to the prosecution's contention he performed for years as the leader of a criminal street gang. We've got the new indictment, and one of the charges involves a machine gun. In May, his attorney, Brian Steele, told us,
I'll tell you the response to any allegation is Mr. Williams committed no crime whatsoever, and we will fight to my last drop of blood to clear him.
An earlier indictment in May charged Young Thug and more than 24 others with conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act. Young Thug was also charged with participation in criminal street gang activity. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis's office says the new indictment includes all 28 defendants from the May indictment and still focuses on YSL, an organization allegedly founded by Young Thug and 2 others.
YSL is an acronym for Young Slime Life, and it is a hybrid gang that operates here in Atlanta, and it's an affiliate of the Blood Gang.
The DA's office says the new charges are against Young Thug and 4 other defendants and arose from arrests in the case March 17th and May 9th, and that many of the new charges against Young Thug and 2 of the other defendants stem from what the DA's office and Atlanta police found in Young Thug's home on Allison Drive in Buckhead the night of his arrest in May. A new gang charge, new drug charges, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a machine gun. Prosecutor Don Geary says the other 2 defendants in the machine gun count, Martinez Arnold, a.k.a. Duke, and Diamante Kendrick, a.k.a. Yak Gotti, have both pled not guilty to the May indictment, as has Williams. Now, been working the phones. Defense attorney Ashley Merchant told me a short while ago she represents Martinez Arnold. She looks forward to litigating this in court. She's confident he won't be convicted of the original charges and he'll be pleading not guilty to the new charges. She says Arnold did not live on Allison Drive. Yak Gotti's attorney, Jay Apt, says his client is looking forward to his day in court, is not guilty of all of these charges, and that he's a triple platinum recording artist who raps about the lives of urban youth, that he's not a criminal. Brian Steele, the attorney for Young Thug, has been consistent in his insistence Young Thug did not commit a crime. Reporting live.
All right, well, what it sounds like Brian Steele is saying, if he's a man of his word, Young Thug didn't commit any of these crimes. So it looks like Young Thug ain't gonna be taking a plea deal. Young Thug said, fuck it, we taking it to trial. That's what Brian Steele, at the beginning of this, Brian Steele said, he's gonna fight this case to his last drop of blood. So what I'm hearing is Young Thug ain't no bitch ass nigga. What I'm hearing is Young Thug ain't taking no plea deal. What I'm hearing is Young Thug is standing on business. Big Slime, King Slime. Truly humbled under God. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Young Thug said, fuck a plea deal. Don't y'all agree? Ain't that what it sounded like Brian Steele was saying? The hell with a plea deal. We ain't commit none of these crimes. I'm thinking Thug taking it to trial, man. Thug don't care. Real all day, man. You think Thug about to plead out and do 7 years? Man, no, Thug ain't taking no plea deal. We gonna be in there. It might just be us by ourselves in there. It might be Thug against the whole state of Georgia by himself, man. We ain't taking no plea deal. We fighting this to the last drop of blood. So woo! Oop, my bad. Did I say that out loud? We ain't a gang over here. My name is Mo. This is the Mo you know. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All right, well, we got some free time. We got one plea deal out the way. I don't know if they're gonna do another one tomorrow. I think maybe Yak Gotti might be going in there. I don't know. We see, but the last drop of blood is crazy. Like, could y'all see me as a lawyer? You know, my client didn't do any of these crimes that they're alleging. And, you know, damn it, I'm going to fight to the last drop of blood for my client to prove his innocence. Every day we're going to be here fighting. Nigga, I'm not saying nothing like that. But if the Young Thug cutting them checks like $1-2 million, $1 million a year, oh, yeah, I'm doing it to the last drop of blood. But yeah, we're going to see, because we don't know whatever happened to the gun charges and the drug charges at the house. I don't like all this AI stuff, man. I can see. Yeah, but if I'm an attorney, man, I'm like, look, man, they offering a plea deal. I'm thinking we should take it. You know what I mean? We should probably take that plea deal. How many years they talking about? 40 months? You can do 40 months. You a real nigga, ain't you? Yeah, you can do 40 months. You could do, you know, you got to look at your client. You're like, man, you can do 40 months. You can't do 40? All right, shit. Let me see if I can go talk them down. We're gonna see if we can get you like on 28 months. Hey, look, we'll do 28 months with 15 years probation. What up? We cool? All right, man. Look, you just gotta do a year and 4 months, man. 2 years and 4 months. It ain't that bad. While you're in there, get you an education. Read some books. Holler at me, but the retainer's gonna be a little more since you're gonna be locked up. Damn, that's cool, man. But then again, if they can just hand out pleas to everybody else and then just have Thug on trial and not offer him anything. I'm sure Brian Steele, he's probably about to work out. He's probably gonna work his magic. And the reason Thug is in there is because he wants Thug to hear what everyone is getting. I don't know, man. if you're Thug though, all seriousness, are you pleading out or are you just gonna say fuck it and take this thing to trial? Because I mean, let's say he did get that same charge. Because it's just the conspiracy to the RICO. Thug does 3 more years, 13 years on probation. He got to get permission to leave the state of Georgia. He can't smoke no weed because it ain't legal in Georgia. Probation, probably can't be drinking. Damn. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Thug benefiting from it. If he, so the whole thing with the RICO was them getting him was like paying to do the hit. So it'd be, he may not benefited from it financially, even though the hit on Nut was a financial gain, because once they got Nut about the way, then they could go do more business. So I mean, like I said, I'm with you. I don't see it. The only thing I seen was, like, if we're being honest, Thug ordered that hit, allegedly. But Thug ordered that hit. Woody done already told the truth. It's just they done found a loophole around it. But I don't know, man. It's tough to say, because like right now we could all be real and say, oh man, forget that. But when you really in that seat and you've been sitting in here for 2 years, Young Thug big as a fucking house now because he been bullshitting. He ain't been Thug, the only nigga I know that went to jail and got big. He ain't do no working out. This nigga been in here for 2 years. This nigga be sending off tweets and shit. Nigga ain't did one goddamn push-up since he been in. Gunna went in there, got in shape, got up out of here, lost some weight, got back on the track. This nigga Young Thug ain't been doing shit for 2 years. Man. No, Thug ain't got no medical condition. I don't think so. I wouldn't know. I'm not trying to violate HIPAA, but I can make a few calls down to Georgia. I mean, you got Young Thug's medical records. Let me see what Thugger got. Even though it's the feds, Dirk got proof against. Oh yeah. So I don't know if y'all heard, but like Dirk, his whole shit's fucked up, man. They got text messages, they got wires. One thing you gotta, this is well, if they can't prove a RICO, on Thug, then he can't plead. He can't take a plea because his charge is the RICO charge. So that means he will have to take it to court, take it to trial. Let me see. Shit. No, he got 56 and he got 1. Conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence in Corrupt Organizations Act. So, I mean, if he takes it to trial, then see, I don't know, man. The state, I don't know, man. They probably got something up their sleeve. Because if they can give, I'm telling you, if they give pleas to everybody and they admitted their guilt to all of this shit, yeah, they got this stuff thrown out, but because they only pled to that one, but all the other stuff is factual. And you heard them reading it all off of the crimes that were committed. But they were only going after that one charge, the RICO. Now they got all this evidence piled up against Thug that's been confirmed. Initially, people were getting up there and they weren't confirming anything, but we just got the guilty plea. So it's like, all right, we heard that, okay, all of this shit happened. I don't know, man. I'm sure, I don't know. Brian Steele is a hell of a lawyer. We know he's leading the charge with this one, but the state definitely isn't trying to let this one slip away. So either Thug gonna have to go to trial or he's gonna have to do some time. I mean, he's already did 2 years. Shit. If they offered the 7, yeah, I'd be like, man, just give me that 7, man. We get up out of here. I'll do another 3. Get the fuck up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Let me up out of here. Thug been stress eating. He eat the straight commissary. He need to be eating the food that they serving. He in there on straight commissary. Come on, Thug. Why is this one up? Oh, that was from yesterday. Oh no, we'll see. The state is improving this case. I mean, they might not be, but initially, everyone said the state is fucking up. Well, that's one nigga down. That's one nigga down. A couple more to go. So the defense haven't done what they were supposed to do, but as all this extra information is coming out and people are pleading guilty, that's just more evidence for the state to back up all the evidence that they were presenting. We're going to see. I mean, Young Thug's going to do time. So no matter what, unless Thug takes this to trial and beat it, the state is going to win. Regardless to if it's another 2 years, 30 months, that's still a long ass time for a millionaire. You see, we were just talking about being regular niggas going to jail for a while. You've already been here for 2 years, another 30 months. That's a long ass fucking time. Think about it, another 30 months. What, 2026? No, that's 2027. Sheesh. Man, I'm not doing no jailhouse interview with Young Thug. That's going to cost too much money. I ain't got that kind of money. I got 30, but I'm not spending 30 to talk to Young Thug on no phone. We can get some Young Thug audio and play it on the live, but I'm not paying that nigga. Yeah, how much for a Young Thug interview? Man, they talking about 40,000. Oh, shit. Fuck that. What's today? Today the 30th. Rent due in 2 days. Unless y'all want to donate, support the Cash App. It's pinned in the chat. Y'all want to donate so we can try to get a Young Thug interview, but we got to wait till the trial over. He ain't doing no interviews now, and we'd be last on the list. All right, we got a list of interviews we need you to do, Thug. All right, we got this nigga named Mo over in Germany. Who? Hell no. I ain't got. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. Anybody that's worth millions and they go to jail, I'm not putting shit on their commissary. That's on you. Ain't no one to tell you to trick off like that and go to jail. You got Mariah the Scientist out here doing shows. She better put some money on them books. I ain't even find out what this damn YSL slime drink was, though. I was really trying to see what that was. Like it. What time is 7:55? I might do a Tubi movie tonight, to be honest with you. Because what I was gonna do, I was gonna be on the Mo You Know, but once we seen that there was a plea, so all the plea deals I'll probably do a live on just so we can see what all these dudes is pleading to, so we can kind of get a gauge of what Young Thug's possibly gonna get if he takes one. But I got a feeling he's gonna go to trial. Why take a guilty plea and take it to trial? There hasn't really been any damning evidence that actually tied him to any of these crimes. So I could definitely see that. Like, man, fuck it. We're going to go ahead and do it. Oh, boy. But as far as right now, man, there's no mistrial. The state is 1-0. They got one of them down for 30 months. with the rest to be served on probation. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I'm gonna try to find like a Tubi movie or something. We haven't watched one in a while. We'll get that thing going. So I'll be back on here in maybe like an hour and a half, maybe. Because what's tomorrow? Wednesday. Yeah. We'll be back. Let me try to find us something. But hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for tuning in. I do want to I'll just make a video of it. But Scream is back. The Wayans brothers officially got the Scream series back. There'll be a video up tonight about that. Remember, I'm only 5 hours ahead of the East Coast right now. We didn't already fell back on our time. So I'm 5 hours ahead until this weekend when you guys go forward on the 3rd. But yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll be on Mo.J. If you haven't subscribed to the Mo You Know, click it in the link. The Mo You Know, subscribe over there. We'll be doing more of this trial over there also. I'm Mo.J. Thank you for tuning in. We can't watch. Remember the stepdaughter, I got a copyright strike on the first one. I'm watching on YouTube. I'm not going on Rumble tonight. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm out.